Hey guys, let me get situated here. I'm super excited about my interview. My guest is actually in studio, if that's what you want to call it. We're talking about multiple streams, decisions, um, business, and all the things. And I have a guest here with me that I'm so excited, guys, for so many reasons. I can't wait to share with you many of the reasons why. But we're it's 7:01. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on and we're gonna get rocking and rolling. Give me just a moment here. Asiya, hey girl, can you hear me?
Hi, how are you? Happy Friday. Hear you. Can you hear me? I see my computer's moving slow.
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I think there is a slight
Um,
lag.
let's see if I can fix that.
It may be.
Okay. I think I fixed it.
Oh, okay. Wow, I thought it was on this end. So beautiful. So how are you this evening?
I'm well, thank you. I definitely have no complaints. I can tell you that.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So, guys, this is Asiya, and I'm so excited about, introducing her to you all and then kind of talking about our relationship because it is an extended relationship. I know if you actually saw the previews for this interview, you saw my client, which she is, but Sia has been my client in two places, right? And so I'm not sure of how many of you have transitioned from one career to another, but it's an honor for me to have someone who was with me. So I owned a brick and mortar service based business for about a decade prior to coaching and consulting. And I started my consulting business in 2012 and I got really serious and full time about it about 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm not sure how many of you have transitioned from one space to the next, but to have someone who trusted you in one arena and then in another, it's simply an honor and a pleasure. I'm going to give Asiya a moment to just simply introduce herself to you all. And then we'll get into, she and I are going to have a conversation. And if you all have questions, that you'd like to ask, you can put them in the comments. We are using StreamYard, so sometimes it will ask you to give permission to leave a comment, but it's not asking for your social security number or any of those things, okay? It's just asking permission to share your comments on the platform. So, Asiya, share with everyone, who you are and a little backstory for our audience.
Well, my name is Asiya, and I am a business consultant and also a business owner. I met Tanya years ago when I relocated to Greenville. I'm from New York, so Tanya was my hairstylist. And we used to have a lot of great conversations just about life and business before I even decided to take the entrepreneurial route. So we used to have a lot of conversations, relationships, life, fresh starts, things like that. And we always used to flow and click. And a lot of things that I'm doing now, we talked about then. And it was always a confirmation for me that things were going in the right direction. Sometimes, especially back then, I struggled with the confidence portion of my talents and my gifts. So when we would talk and she would say, I feel that in you, I see that, and that kind of stuff. It kind of was confirmation for me about everything. And it's coming full circle that we sit here now because she's also been on the other side of me embarking on different things that now I master now, like I do and I've come out into my own, she's been there at a lot of those things to witness them happening. So it's really cool to sit here and talk to her, because when we usually have conversations, literally it usually goes like this, and it's not even a business session. It's just kind of our conversation. It flows that way. um, we get good insight off of each other. She definitely picks up on some things that she sees in me that I guess I feel like I normally do. And she's like, no, that's definitely a gift and a talent that people need. So it's definitely a pleasure to sit here and talk to her, especially because we have such a long history of my transition to the South and to Greenville, and helping her in different events and things like that. So I also was watching her transition out of the brick and mortar and doing hair to where she is now. So it's really great to be here.
Beautiful. So, I mean, it brings back so many memories because one of the things that I remember specifically as a brick and mortar business owner was Asia's willingness to always help me. She was always asking, is there anything I can do to help? And, there were a few times that I actually started taking her up on it, simply because I'd gotten a chance to know her and just, I mean, there was so much greatness that I saw in Asiya, and I trusted her. I really trusted her. I would do events, and she would say, "Can I help?" and different things. And I was hoping we would get to the point where I could share that because. Uh, in the space now, especially this online space or even this business space, so many people want mentors. And what I see by way of wanting mentors is oftentimes people just simply wanting people to give them information. Sometimes I'll see people say, well, nobody wants to help anybody and things of that nature. But when I grew up in mentorship, because I have a mentor that I've had now for over 20 plus years, it wasn't free, right? It was a free one. And number two, I earned my keep with her. Well, what I learned from her was invaluable, right? I don't even know if I know I couldn't have afforded at the time that I met her to even pay her for how my life changed, for just even being in her presence. And so, what was transpiring that I didn't even realize was a form of mentorship. And Asiya was, um, Asiya is someone that if I now had a company that someone needed to be hired, I would not hesitate at all to hire her either by way of contracting her out or, physically as an employee in my business because um, she's excellent at so many things, which brings me to, the point that I want to share now. Talk about share the businesses that you own or really quick, and then I'll kind of move into what I want to share with them
Okay.
and as well.
So I'm co-owner of Jack and Jill After School and Summer Camp. I have to admit that is kind of like my baby, because it's one of the first true businesses that my business partner Christy and I started together, and we've been doing that now for years. And to watch it grow the way it has is amazing. And Christy is definitely a rock star, because the kind of business I do, the side of the business I do, I love it. The side of the business that she does, she loves it, and I don't do her part. So, um, a Jack and Jill, and I also have Sunshine Unlimited, and I do custom print from that. And I don't do a lot of it. I do it for special orders. So I do shirts, mugs. I do branding. When I say branding, I don't mean branding as in what Tanya has talked about in one of her sessions before. I mean, the branding, the physical part of the branding of your business. So I
The
can put that
collaborative.
for you.
Hmm.
Yes, like your logo, things like that. I'll bring your vision together for you. I do those. I do postcards, business cards, things of that nature as well. I'm also a business consultant. So I do consult with businesses, and that is the collective life changers. So that is my business consulting business as well. And I'm also the associate director of a nonprofit that's the Mediation Center. And I got to tell you, with that particular position, it's not really a job. It's definitely more of something that you own. And I created the Girls Empowered group that is out of Pitt County. So that is definitely another passion of mine, helping young girls build their self esteem and even going into entrepreneurship and understanding their skills and their talents as well. So that's just a little bit of what I do to sum it up in a nutshell. However, I have done event planning, which I still do within the businesses, which is where I started with Winterville Charter Academy. So I guess you could say I'm a jack of all trades, but I actually master some of them, which we will talk about later in this session.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And so that ties us into multiple streams. And it also takes us to the space of, you moving from, being my client in my brick and mortar business to connecting with me to coach with you on your many gifts and talents. And I actually went back and looked at our actual call, which was 2 years ago, guys, 2 years ago. And I was just blown away. I was so pleased. I was like, I'm so glad I'm a systems girl. And that I was able to still, pull that up and just really connect back to the starting point for, us working together as far as me, coaching and consulting you, or I guess the mentoring part as well. And one of the first things, so one of the reasons that it was important for me to go back and kind of find those things is because I wanted to know that starting point. And a huge part of it was for Asiya to simplify her processes. And because she's so gifted and because she's so talented and because there are so many things that she's good at, just being able to define, like, okay, what do I do with all of this? And where do I get started? And this is the space that many creatives, many gifted people um, really struggle with, and also people who have worked in corporate America, because oftentimes, although your job description may say one thing, you may find yourself wearing many hats, and over time, over practice, you become good at many things. And so I find a lot of people who are coming from corporate America and wanting to establish a business or something of that nature, they have the same challenge that Asiya had in the beginning. And that was, okay, where do I start? How do I get clear? And I remember asking her, to share with me some of the things that she was good at. And her response, this is, what really connected my heart today when I was able to rewatch our time. Um, she said, you know, this is, do you remember what you said?
I really do not. I remember the conversation, but I don't know, because I know I am a people person, but I wonder what I said back then.
Okay. So Asiya was struggling to share with me what she was good at. And I was kind of shocked because, I saw this confident person who I saw so many gifts and talents in. But what I wanted to highlight was the reason that she said she felt she struggled to share with me what she was good at. It was like, we're talking and she's processing all of this as we're having our consult. And she shared with me that she didn't know how to talk about her greatness without seeming, arrogant, or if she was bragging or anything of that nature. And also, um, she wanted to be sure that um, she was remaining humble. And it was just, several different things. And it stood out for me because so many women have this same challenge. So many women are, truly gifted and, talented, but they struggle to talk about their greatness. And she did. We got into, our faith, and trying to maintain the humbleness needed there, and really wanting to be a good person, or seem as a good person. And so I thought it was important to share that with the audience, because so many women have this same challenge. And oftentimes, our faith can kind of blur the lines between, do I talk about my greatness? Do I even bother to sit down and really think about what I'm great at? And confidence. We as women often struggle with people pleasing, and all of these things impact our business. This is the main reason that I wanted to share that. All of these things are the reasons why people undercharge, why people, it's specifically coaches, teachers, trainers, give out free information, and then they burn out, and they no longer want to do what they're doing, or they have the thought that what they're doing isn't working, because they're still trying to find this balance in, how do I talk about my greatness and still remain, humble? It keeps a lot of people in income brackets that they don't desire to be in. The desires that are in their heart are huge, right? God has placed, big desires in their heart. And so, one of the things, so I'm a master life and business coach. You guys can see that across the screen, but I use quite a bit of my life coaching when I'm working with my business clients, especially women, which is the 99% of the people that I service. But it's amazing now to see how she has stepped into her greatness, in a way where I don't think she's uncomfortable, or am I mistaken in talking about, the things that you're doing. I see a freeness now, that I didn't see before.
Yes, you are definitely right. There, I made a major change in my life, and that was the turning point for me. That was actually probably 98% of why I did not or wasn't comfortable with stepping into my shoes, or actually just honestly flying, just going out there and soaring. And inside, did I know that I could? Yes, I definitely knew that I could. I always do that. However, making that come to fruition is very different. And Tanya does discuss this in many different venues and sessions, and relationships. That is one thing she always says: relationships matter. That is important. And I am a testament of that, because if you would if you knew me 3 years ago and then you knew me today, as some people do, you would definitely say, just like she did, there's a freeness. I'm definitely different. I've grown into those shoes. I am no longer afraid. I'm very confident. I know I'm good at what I do. I would not have said that before. I would never have said that before. I would have felt like, just like she said, like maybe that is bragging. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't want to offend other people, the whole people pleasing thing. But the truth is that I do stand on it, because I do have um, I have results. I am definitely results driven, and I do have results, proven results. So I'm good at what I do, and she is correct. I am more confident. I am more free. I love talking to people. I love talking about business, and I love helping people. However, Tanya has helped me make sure that I understand that in business, you can help people, and that is awesome. However, just like I had to pay to um, get all the knowledge and things that I've learned, and for my mentors and things like that, it would be great to be able to always give those things out for free. But in a business, for something to be valuable, you do put a price tag on it, because a lot of times we don't value free. We want free, but we don't value free. I mean, just be honest. If you brought something from the Dollar Tree, if you lose it, it's cool. If you don't treat it right, it's cool. But you're not going to go to Tiffany's and treat it the same way. It's just very different. So you have to put a value on your worth, and that is where I did struggle before, putting a value on my skills and talents. So I am glad that we've connected, and she is able to point those things out just from conversations. That's why I do like talking to her, because we have different skills where I may could point something different out in people, and I definitely don't see it in myself, but she is able to point those things out in me, and gifts and talents that to me, I'm like, no, I just do that every day. And she's like, no, it's definitely a need for it. So,
That's a superpower.
yes.
So I'm so glad that brought up relationships because they're so important. And there was a space in our conversation where we brought up relationships, and I was like, I don't know if I should bring the word relationships up today, so I'm just gonna free flow. And so I'm so glad that you said that because relationships are probably 85 to 90% of the success that we have in our lives, the quality of our relationships. If you show me your friends, I can show you your future. The five people that you spend the most time with, you are an average of those people. Your income, your morality, what you do in the world, how far you go in the world, it's so connected to relationships of all vernaculars, especially intimate relationships, but even our interactions with family, the relationships and partnerships we build in the community. All of those things are these vehicles that are actually intended to help us get to destiny, right? And so if we imagine that our relationships are raggedy, so just think about the vehicles being raggedy, right? How much
Hmm.
longer is it going to take you to get to your destination if you got to keep changing the oil? You riding on a donut. You got to put water in the water heater every 100 miles. I mean, the radiator every 100 miles. Just so many things. And so, oftentimes, as I'm working with women, as it relates to their business, we can make connections with relationships of all kind and see how they impact our lives. And sometimes those relationships can cause us to battle with our self-esteem or our value or our worth. And I don't think people are necessarily, quote unquote,
Hmm.
intentional about how they speak to us or how they lower
Hmm.
um, the vibration for what it is that we desire. But who you're telling your dreams to and your goals, those things make a huge difference. They impact us on a level that I think most people are truly unaware of. And so Asiya and I coached about 2 years ago, and she said 3 years ago, you wouldn't have seen her as this, such a confident individual. Although I saw the confidence underneath, but to hear her say that she couldn't say the things that she was great at that time. And so um, we spent time. One of the things that we talked about was creating boundaries and how important it is. And the word boundaries rolls over not only in our business, not only in our relationships, but also in our business. How have you found just being able to establish boundaries important to business building for you? Because Asiya and her partner own a really successful after school care and summer camp program, really successful, and dealing with public parents, their children, their most precious, valuable. How, and with consulting, how important has boundaries been for you?
So I can tell you, boundaries, oh my gosh, like the number one priority, essential. And in the beginning, I can tell you, I did not have boundaries and did not think about boundaries. And again, I also need reminders. You know what I mean? So, in my willingness and eagerness to help people and always trying to go that extra mile, when you don't have boundaries and you're a person like that, the lines get pushed. They always get pushed. So now you're getting calls in the middle of the night that's not business hours, and people really expect you to respond to them because you've never had boundaries before. So why wouldn't you? So as you've said, especially in the after school and summer camp business, I think that our success comes from us building those processes. We built in those processes and those boundaries. And I'll be honest, my business partner was the one who was most heavy on this boundary thing than I was at first. My thing was, oh no, come on. We got to be there for them. And, her thing was, yes, however, we have business hours and we're professionals and we also have families, and putting that together and with business, because even in business, different kinds of businesses, you have to have boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, your profit, I like to turn everything to money. So if you don't have boundaries and someone's calling you and you're taking calls outside of your business hours and you're cutting into your family time or just your you time or your creative time, well, now you have to lessen your profit because now you're putting in more hours than you're bringing something in. So the boundaries help you not to get burned out. Boundaries help you to live a more flexible life. And I can tell you, my children are very active, and I have been blessed to be able to walk into this, to be able to be at all the games, to be able to take them to different places, or hey, I need to be over here. This is what we need to do today. I definitely know that boundaries are important, and without setting those boundaries, you are definitely setting yourself up for burnout quickly and sort of resentment, because at a point you're going to start to have some ill feelings and bad feelings, but you only can be upset with yourself because you have to set boundaries. And if you don't set boundaries for yourself, things are always going to funnel over. And I'll be honest, again, with my change, my major relationship life change 3 years ago, that's where my boundaries started to come into play. I did not have boundaries for a long time because of the way I was in my relationship. So again, relationships are important. How you operate in relationships are important, and you need boundaries for yourself. And it's not being selfish. Actually, it's loving yourself more and knowing you love yourself to put in boundaries to keep yourself and your peace of mind. Because your peace of mind, if you don't have peace of mind, you're not going to be able to run a business. You're not going to be able to be successful in any relationship. And if you are a parent, your parenting is probably going to be a little bit rough with a lot of yelling, a lot of stress, a lot of oh my gosh moments. I can't find time. Boundaries are important. They definitely set yourself up. That's kind of like a part of your foundation. Like when you build anything, you need a foundation, and boundaries is one of the first things that you need to implement. And definitely in your business, you got to implement those boundaries, set those business hours and stick to it. Set the times and parameters of what you're doing and how long you will do it for. You have to set the parameters and boundaries. It is essential to your mental health, and your business health is definitely essential.
Absolutely. I brought up boundaries because we were connecting all of this to relationships. And I want to share, if you guys can just watch from the story that we're telling or the conversation that we're having with you, how, her being able to establish boundaries is so connected to the level of confidence that she stepped into, right? Because it's impossible, almost impossible, to create boundaries that you live by. It's not hard to create them because many business owners have policies and procedures, and they have standards and they have price points, and you can have those things, but until you have the confidence and the self-worth to actually live into those boundaries and establish them, they'll just be something in your handbook if you have a handbook and policy and procedure. And again, as Asiya said, you'll be frustrated. Many people are overwhelmed and consumed in their business because they aren't establishing boundaries. It's one of the reasons why, as a life coach, I teach on inner work and healing, because those things impact our business. I say all the time, we get our whole life over here, excuse me, and we build businesses from within, because I understand that if I give you a strategy and you haven't done inner work around that, or your mindset isn't in alignment with it, it's just, no matter how amazing the strategy is, it's just not, you're not going to implement it. And so I just want to charge women, any of you who come on or who may be watching, to tap in, go within on the inside, step into new measures of confidence and self-love and self-worth. And it's going to impact how you're able to grow your business, how you're able to even recognize your own gifts. Because a lot of times we, for sake of wanting to be humble, we don't
Mhm.
even know what we're great at, right? Because we don't want to see ourselves as being arrogant um, or bragging. But if not, you're going to be the best kept secret.
Definitely.
So if you don't go within, you will be the best kept secret. I know we talked about boundaries as it related to, just general conversations as coaches and consultants with people, and how when we speak, money drops out of our mouth, and how we even have to be mindful and have, boundaries in place for how people apply to work with us, or
Mhm.
have agreements and things of that nature. Because you can get on the phone with me, and in 2 minutes I can give you a six-figure strategy, right? And I understand that Asiya can give you a strategy that will completely change your business. And so this is also where boundaries come into place, as it relates to business. One of the things, Asiya, you shared was that you used to worry about upsetting people if you establish your boundaries. And I heard you say how your business partner didn't have that issue at first with boundaries, and you kind of did. And so one of your things was, just concerned that you would upset people. Um,
Mhm.
I don't imagine that that's a huge struggle anymore.
Um, Today, no. And I have to tell you, and I always look back on it and I think about it even from when I was a teenager, but I think about it and I'm gonna be honest, like my business partner is like, I guess my balance now that we're talking about it. Like we might be yin and yang, but she's definitely my balance because where I might answer calls all night, she would be the one time out. No, no, we're not. No, we're gonna shut that off, okay? Because you need to go ahead and be with your family. I need to be with mine, and we've worked all week and we've given everything we have. And I'm like, okay, you're right, you're right. So when I was younger, and I remember this, my first mentor was my best friend's father, Nefertiti, her father. He has passed away, but I'm gonna tell you, I will never forget all the nuggets he gave me at 19 years old. And I got into business at 19 years old. And he said to me, because he will always try to talk in the language of young people, I guess. And
Mhm.
he would always say, because again, I had this whole, oh, I'm gonna help this person. And what you were saying is true. Like every time you talk, you're giving something to someone that increases value for their business or their life. And you got to have boundaries on that. And what he said was, at some point, you need to stop giving free booty. And I used to say, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do that. I'm not doing that. What are you talking
Ah,
about? And he would say, no, you actually are. He's like, I've heard you talk to at least three people and you've helped them start a business or to do something that you're not doing for yourself. And you didn't make any money off of it, but they're making money. And at 19 you don't really understand that, you know what I mean?
right.
And
Yes.
he was giving me all of this knowledge, and we call him Baba, and he was giving me all of this knowledge, and finally he was like, you know what, you need to go ahead and try to work in Manhattan. You It's time to take this to the next level. So I needed to be pushed back then. Now my confidence was there, but I wasn't fully aware of myself. And it was him that said, it's okay sometimes to be a big fish in a small pond, but it's really time for you to go to that big pond and do what you do. And it was from that point on that I stepped into that role. And I knew I was good at whatever it was that I was doing. And, but again, through life, through not having boundaries, through relationships that you don't make good choices about. Um, your confidence fades or fades to the background. Like it's in there, but you're not letting it out. You're not trying to say it to people. You don't want anybody to think you're stepping on their toes. You're afraid that if your light is shining bright, that somebody else is going to feel like it's a problem. It poor choices in relationships and no boundaries make you feel all of those kind of ways. Um,
Absolutely.
and today I have no problems with boundaries. And if I do, believe that Christy is checking me on the boundary. Believe me, she is checking me, because if I'm talking to her and I say something, she's like, hold on, when did you do this? What time was it? What was you doing?
Right.
You doing that? You know,
Well,
so
that
she's
sounds like such a beautiful. When I hear you talk about you and your business partner, I think about polarity. Like there, the polarity that you all have is beautiful for what you all do. You know, in the business, I think it's so important, and we can carry that over into, even our intimate relationships, and how important it is to have people who, can add to us and who aren't just sucking us dry. Because what I
right.
find with many women is because we may have had poor choices in relationships. I was married for 14 years. I've been divorced now for almost 4 years. And so I'm not like any different from, I'm not like talking over anybody, trust me, right? The reason that I'm able to share the importance and the value of relationships is because of my own story and my own journey. And I do understand, especially if a woman finds herself in a relationship that is, belittling or toxic in any measure. Oftentimes you're diminished, like who you are. You kind of lose all of that in the midst of the relationship. There's people pleasing, and guys, if you hear us, the same things that I've just mentioned, we've mentioned how they look in your business as well. It looks like you giving away free consultations all the time. I mean, I do, clarity calls that are complimentary, but it's to see how I can support people. It's not like so that I can just, give them all the things, which I always normally add a little value, even still to those. But I understand boundaries, and women have to, so much of us that we have to go and do some inner work and heal, and we'll see just how much it impacts our business. And one of the things that I shared with Asiya when she was talking about worrying about people getting upset, and why she was in the beginning, having some struggles with boundaries in business and just kind of giving away free information. I shared with her a phrase that I thought you guys would find valuable, and it's purpose over petty. Purpose over petty. So I when you think about free, what the client is not petty, right? But if it's not serving your purpose, it's on a smaller scale. And so that's just something that you can say, even for those of you who struggle with time management, struggle with getting things done. Purpose over petty will help you. It's just a little phrase that you can remember that will help you stay in alignment with what's necessary, that you deserve and you desire for, your business and your life. And so you got to say, am I going to keep doing this free stuff over my purpose, or over what I'm purposed to do? Because you guys know it's cash or candles, right? Like when the light bill comes,
There you go.
you either gonna pay the cash or you're gonna be lighting candles. Now I got that from this guy named Anthony Andrew, and I love it. It stuck with me for a long time, because as entrepreneurs, I think we need to understand that you are, in business to profit. I believe in under promising and over delivering, but I fully believe in being compensated for your gifts and your talents and your abilities. And so, my goal is always to support people as with
Okay, we're back.
Okay, so we had a little disruption in our connection, and so yeah, because all of this is about you making destiny decisions, which you have made, Asia, like in such a phenomenal way, and I'm seeing you. Well, I saw you in so many different lights, and I remember when I shared with you a superpower that I noticed. You were like, is that not something that people just do? I said, no, that is your superpower, dear. And so I would see Asiya throughout the community, just making these elaborate connections that the average individual would have looked at these entities or the people that Asiya was, creating partnerships with and collaborating with as, oh gosh, I mean, who am I to reach out to them? And I'm just seeing her, I remember one in particular, I just shared a name and she's just on it, right? And so she definitely has a superpower for creating collaborative efforts that cause businesses to really profit and be profitable, especially businesses that are wanting to get their names out and create those type of connections. Asia actually has a system that she uses to, help businesses to establish um, collaboration or collaborative efforts and partnerships in the community. And so, Asia, you didn't even realize because you just did it naturally.
That's definitely true. Uh, I am a people person. I am all about people. Um, Coming from New York business world, you learn quickly that it is about the people. Because if you aren't a people person, you do not give that customer service. If they are not feeling your energy, then you will not have a business. You will not have a customer. You will not have client retention. Client retention is major. Community partners are major, but I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. Um, I knew I was reaching out to people and I was making connections, but that's just who I am. I always was making connections. Making connections is just something that I've been doing for so many years that I don't even think about it. It bothers my children sometimes. They're used to it now, but we can be out somewhere and I can see someone, or I can say, you know what? Oh, let me go over here and talk to these people really fast. And that is how I've met so many people in so many different realms. And where other people might say, how do you know, like, the CEO of this company, or how do you know these judges, or how do you know these attorneys, or how did you get with these people? And in my mind, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I went in, I walked in, I
I
introduced.
would watch her when she didn't realize I was watching. And I was like, I mean, she knows every, like, did I just move here or did she just move here? Okay. Because she was just making major connections and collaborations and hosting some of the best community events and supporting things for the community with such a grace and such an ease about it. And so, one of the things I do when I'm working with clients is to help them uncover their value, because most people undercharge because they're unaware of what their value is. And oftentimes it's connected to something that they're gifted by, they do naturally. And so there is this thought that people won't pay for that thing. Um, but once we uncover what your value is, especially if it's something, a superpower like Asia has, that comes really naturally. She doesn't even notice it. But that is one of the things that helps you to establish who you are as a brand. Earlier in our conversation, and you guys may hear the rain kind of hitting on the skylights. It's a little louder than possibly normal because of that. But you may have heard Asia share earlier that she does the custom printing and things like that, and she mentioned the word branding. And she said, not the branding Tanya is talking about, but the logos and websites and things like that that she does with her company. Those things are collateral materials. And when I speak of you establishing who you are as a brand, we really dig down deep and go within, because it's from that space that you can now show up in the marketplace. You now know who it is that you need to serve, and um, uh, even your pricing. So pricing was another thing that Asiya, she was like, okay, I got this stuff. Where are we with pricing? And I let her answer it, which is, oftentimes how I help my clients to come to the revelation that's really on the inside of them. And she came up with, oh, it's based on my value. I said, absolutely. It's based on your values. So, for those of you who are entrepreneurs and you're struggling with, pricing and charging and things like that, one of the things to understand is your price is always going to be too expensive for someone and too cheap for someone else. But when you understand the value that your business provides, then you can position yourself in front of the right people who will find value in your business. If not, you are going to attempt to market to everybody. And
And that's
marketing is
impossible.
just one of the marketing pieces. I know Asia, talks to her clients about as well. And so when you have a client that is looking for other clients to come in their business and things of that nature, what's one of the things that you focus on, like when you're wanting them to get more clients or more sales? What's a staple that you may share with them?
Um, well, first I like to ask them, who is your client? I really can't help anybody unless they know who their client is, because a lot of times people, what I find people try to tell you, well, everybody, I'm trying to sell it to everybody. No, you're not. You're not trying to sell it to everybody. You have a client. You just have to figure out for yourself who that client is. Um, that honestly is my first question to people. You have to try to tell me who your products are for, or your services. Um, and once you can tell me who your services are for, I can help you strategize a advertising strategy, a marketing strategy to help get your product out there. And then we'll work on a system of getting people through your door through community partners and the cash system that I use, which is community partner based. So you have to first know, who are you marketing to? Like, I will be very honest, in all the businesses that I do, it is not for everyone. I am not a business consultant for everybody. And I am very aware of that. And it's not to say that I don't want to help everybody. I just, my my clients want a certain thing, and I want to be able to give it to them. So I only can really work with my perfect type of client. So I have like a sheet that someone will fill out, an assessment. We do the first we do the first introductions, so then I can decide, like, are we good for each other? Just like a relationship, any relationship, you need to qualify them. So first we qualify each other. You qualify if you think I have what you need, and I qualify if you have what I need to be able to help you. So if you have a product, you need to qualify, who is your client? Who is your clientele? That's how you're going to know your price point. If you don't know who your clientele is, you won't know your price point. Because if you are marketing to single moms, let's just say, working women, single moms, um, you have to have a price point. So are you trying to be upscale, or are you trying to be more like Target or Macy's? That kind of thing. Your services, just like with Jack and Jill, we we offer children more than just an after school and a summer camp experience. We offer them substance. We're trying to help with character development. We are giving them youth empowerment groups. We are sitting down with them and helping them build visions, vision boards. We're helping them plan even at a young age. We even do financial literacy on their level, at the level that they're on. So, no, we give value. We're giving something very different. So, we are not marketing to everyone. So, we are well aware that everyone will not come to Jack and Jill, but we do know that our clients that value those type of things for their children, those are our clients. And those are the clients that they pay the tuition and they love the service that they get. They love the customer service that they get. They love all the things that we pour into their children. And then you have people that are just looking for some place for their kids to go. They
Right.
don't need the value, right? They don't
Right.
need the value. They don't need anything. They really just need them to go somewhere. So they really don't want to pay anything. And I get that. And that's where those boundaries tie in. See, everything we just talked about ties into that. Boundaries, relationships, understanding who your client is. Because guess what? You're not going to be able to get the low end client and the high end client. You're just not going to be able to do that. And once you know who your client is, I would be able to come in and I can help you. I can help you with your price points. I can help you with the strategies. I can help you with the marketing. And that tells me who your community partners are. And then I help you meet these community partners. So what I would do is help you form your own system of being able to do what I do in the community for your industry. So that's kind of how I do it. I like for people to understand you have to qualify people in your life, and if we did that a lot more often, we probably have better relationships and things like that because we would qualify
Absolutely.
people.
Yes. It's so beautiful to hear you um, just so eloquently, share what you do for people and how you're existing in your superpowers. And so, our goal for connecting as far as supporting you in your business, I hope you guys hear that Asia already had these gifts, right? So what she's sharing with you were gifts that she already had. So the support that I offered her was identifying her value in the marketplace, because sometimes we get that, I'm worth more, but your service also has to have a value, to it in the marketplace, because we're talking about business. But our self worth is attached to that. So helping her to identify what her value is in the marketplace, and in other ways, helping her identify what type of transformation she offers to her clients and customers, because pricing is connected to that. It's not connected to, well, what do all of the other people charge? I'm going to go a little lower than them so that people will come to me. That's not where pricing, where we derive, how much we're going to charge for different services. Now, I do offer premium services. My services range from $4,444 to 30K. And so I understand that not everyone is my customer. And I take that and I relay it to the clients who come to work with me as well, because many of them have amazing superpowers. They're extremely gifted. Like Asia, they may have intellectual property coming out of corporate America. And so it's not that I'm creating this vision for them. I'm helping them to cultivate what's on the inside of them, helping them to establish who they are as a brand, because once we get that in alignment, we can identify who your perfect people are. I have a system for creating your perfect people, um, collaborations, all of those things that help people to identify. And most of the time, I'm working with leaders who have multiple things, just like Asiya. And it's just absolutely amazing to hear you so eloquently explain what you do and the results that you're getting in your own business, not just, how you help other people, but the success of Jack and Jill. I believe can you let people know just a little bit about well, you just kind of talked about some of the value. I love the financial literacy that's being offered, the visions, all of those things. A parent like me, that hits home for me. Like, it's like, okay, yes, because yes, I would need someone. My daughter's 16, so I don't at this time, but I would need someone to watch my child, right? But I would also be looking for added value, not just a
Right.
babysitter. And so, I would be an ideal client for uh, the scenario. So, how do you all operate? Like after school, you pick up summer camp. Kind of tell what that looks like.
So during the school year, we do after school and we do tutoring services as well. After school at Jack and Jill does not look like your average after school. So most of the time, kids go to after school, people sit them down, they don't do anything with them, the kids run around, parents come pick them up. We do have certified teachers on our staff. So they will help the kids with homework. They make sure everyone is reading. Sometimes parents are definitely busy, and I'm a parent, so I know. So we kind of take the we try to take some of that off of their plate. Children should read all of the time. Children, we have to have our children reading more. We have to have our children literate. We cannot just expect the schools to do that. So, Christy and I, as parents, we have incorporated that into Jack and Jill. So everybody gets reading time, and the smaller children, we have the teachers read books to them and things like that. Then we have a girls empowered session with them, and we also do the conflict resolution portion where we kind of help the kids be able to resolve conflict together, without having to yell and use bad words and things like that. And it's important because a lot of times that's what, if a child hears that all the time, that becomes their voice and that's how they handle things. And we are both certified in handling those things and anger management, because you have children that come to us, and a lot of times the parent is like, I really hope that, little Johnny doesn't do anything, it doesn't get on your nerves. And Christy, she works with the kids and she'll be the first one to say, don't worry about it, trust me, we have it. And that is because we will do some anger management sessions if we have to. We I am a certified mediator, that I do mediations for the day job that I have. So doing juvenile mediation services is just an added bonus. We also do parenting programs where we might sit with a parent and kind of go over what is the need for their child. So we kind of do that year round. Now, with summer camp, we have yoga. Yoga is very important for the mind and the body. So we try to teach children that at a very young age. So our kids at Jack and Jill get yoga weekly. So they get yoga lessons weekly, so they are able to get that mind and body balanced. They are able to get that cool down period during the week that they can look forward to, and just kind of to strengthen their mental and bring them into like that kind of meditative state. So we give that to the Jack and Jill kids, again, at an early age. We make sure we do academic review because the pencil doesn't stay sharp unless you sharpen it. So we just kind of make sure that we offer that to our Jack and Jill kids. So we have our own workbooks and things like that that we provide and that we work with them on. And also, as they go on field trips, Christy has designed where when they go on field trips, they have activities around that. So let's say, for example, they're going to the bird park or nature center. So now they're doing all kinds of activities around nature and educating them on it. And then they do a written portion, then they do an art portion. So therefore, you are cultivating all the skills that these children might have, because remember, kids don't know what they like and what they're good at. So what we do is we try to expose them to all of these things, but for their level. And now we also have older children as well at the center. So we have things for the older children as well. And we have a young gentleman's youth group. A lot of people don't pour into the little boys like they might pour into the girls. And I'll be honest, you have to pour into them just as much because they are our future. You know what I mean? We have to educate them in the same kind of ways. So we do different things with them that is particularly and specific to boys. And we take them on separate field trips and give them their time and things like that. So those are just a few things that we do and that we have. And you can also visit our website at www Jack and Jill. That's JAAC and Jill. And Jack is spelled different because it's Jesus accepts all children. And that is kind of what our whole philosophy is. We are accepting of all children. There's no child that we don't bring into our Jack and Jill family and love on and help them get to reach the level in where they want to go. I'm going to tell you, we have two middle school girls there that at first they didn't want to go. Oh, they don't want to go to a summer camp. No, I don't want to go there, because I'm too old for it. And let me
Yes.
tell you, they enjoy it. Yes, they enjoy it. They go, they enjoy it. They're having fun with everybody else and they light up. So I always encourage people to let your child try something at least one time. You as parents, we love to try to say no because my child's not into that, but let me tell you something. You don't know what your children are into because they don't know. So you let them try it for a day or two, and hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If they don't like it, they don't like it. But I could definitely tell you, Jack and Jill has a 100% success rate. The children that come through our door that the parents think are not probably going to like it, they don't want to leave. So I definitely am proud of the curriculum that Christy has put into play. I am proud of our partnership and how we've built in all these extras for the kids. And we work hard together to make sure that we constantly are growing within ourselves so that we can give that to the children. So, in a nutshell, that is what Jack and Jill is about.
That's so beautiful. And I don't know why we never had the conversation about what the Jack actually stood for, but we had never gotten to that. So I was just like, oh, wow, that's so good. But as you guys can see, Asiya is, a genius in so many ways and, extremely gifted. And as it relates to her partnership, she is the systems person and, the administrative things. And it takes both of those for a business of that magnitude to be able to run so successfully. And so you and Christy both are doing such an amazing job. Our children are so important, and the foundation that you are providing for them. And I love when you said that you and your business partner are both working on yourselves so that you can pour into the children. And for many people who coach, teach, train, whether you're a wellness coach, life coach, business coach, whatever it is, um, the work that you do on yourself is what allows you to pour back into your clients that you receive or the ones that you don't receive, right? Because
Right.
sometimes we can have, again, the most amazing business strategies, right? But if we don't grow and develop personally, one, we won't have the mindset to be able to fulfill those strategies, or we will be hit or miss in the effectiveness that we actually offer our clients and getting them results. And that's how we stay in business. That is how we grow. My entire concept, my consulting business is renewfullcircle.com is my website, but the name of my consulting business is Renew Full Circle Consulting. And that's because we get our whole life over here. I believe that you are your business. I believe the measure that you grow personally determines how your business grows. And I just think it's important as women heal, we heal 7 generations, right? So when we go and we do our inner work, whether you're just not just, but whether you are not an entrepreneur and there's a need for inner work and healing, but especially if you are an entrepreneur where you're working with people, it's just so important that we dig within. So much of your business, probably about 90% of the success of your business is your mindset.
Yes.
It's not the strategies and all of those things. Many of you, we're in an age of information where you can get just about any type of information that you want. But if you don't have the mindset, right, and the heart set to be able to implement it, right,
Yep.
then you won't get the results. And that's why, having all of this information is not always good for us, because sometimes we feel because we've heard it before, that we actually know it. But we're in business, so we got to look at results and how is it working, how is it working for our clients. Are we overworked and underpaid in a business that we created, right? I see so many entrepreneurs who step into entrepreneurship and actually create a bigger job for themselves. So I'm all about helping my clients really develop and define who they are as a brand, get clarity, simplify their business. I fully believe in time freedom, especially for women, us being able to operate more in our feminine energy, because our masculine energy is all the do, 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 go, 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 and the busy stuff, right?
Right.
And if we haven't tapped into new spaces of our femininity, or if it has been tampered with in a way from like a relationship that didn't go well, or toxic relationships, even, they where we may have felt like we didn't have the support that we needed and we had to be the only person providing or doing it. It often causes us to operate in such a masculine way that we don't know when to say no. We don't know when to turn it off, right? We're constantly busy, but are we profiting? Are we profiting? And so I just want to leave you guys with the fact that if you ever want to know who you are, go into business, right? Because it
Right.
will challenge you on every area. And if you find that you feel stuck, because I don't believe that we're ever really stuck, I believe that um, stuck is simply because we don't have a vision bigger than where we are right now. That's all that stuck is. We just can't seem to see past the space that we're at now. But if you go within, your answers will be there. You'll begin to see people who can help you on a more clear basis. You begin to tap into new spaces of self-love and self-worth and value and confidence and all of those things, and they are needed in order to really grow your business. And so, um, ASEA, for those of you who have entities, corporations, businesses who are looking to make an impact in the community, and you want to have ASEA to establish those community partnerships and relationships for you, you can definitely connect with her. Can you tell them your email address? That was one that I didn't get to put a banner in for ASEA, so
It's
that they can contact you. Mhm.
it's Asiya. That's A, S is in Sam, IYA, at the collectivelifechangers.com. And you can always find me on Facebook under Sunshine Asiya.
Just making sure because I don't have my readers on, honey.
Look, these
That
my readers right here.
Yeah, I didn't even grab mine. Asia at the Collective Life. Yeah, okay, let me take that other A out.
Yes.
Changers.com. I think I spelled this right. Let's see what it's going to do. Is that right, Asia? Asia at the Collective
Yes.
Life Changers. Hey, I did it right with no readers on, honey. So that is how you guys can reach Asia if you're looking for your business or your corporation. She's also super amazing and effective, results driven at grant writing, as well. It's part of what she does in her consulting business practices. Um, uh, we talked about design, so if you guys saw the title to this particular broadcast, it was about multiple streams, business, fresh starts, mentoring, all the things. So I hope that we have honored, everything that you all anticipated us talking about. Before we leave the broadcast, are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions for Asia or myself that we can answer before we pop off? Any questions? I'm gonna put my website up here. There is a space for a complimentary clarity call to see how I can support you in your business to let you know what I offer and to see if you're fit, if both things, if it's a fit for you and if you're a fit for those opportunities. I focus from a 3 point perspective: abundance mindset, personal growth, and business building. Um, and my clients are doing really, really, really well. Many of my clients 3x their income after working with me. Um, I have clients who are hitting 16K months. Uh, a recent client, less than 20 days, hit 9K in sales. And so the process that I use of going within, really helps my clients in tremendous ways. I help them create multiple streams of income. And clarity is huge. It's a huge part of what I do because once we get clear, we can go anywhere. If you don't know where you're going, you go anywhere with anyone and you'll do anything. And so that's our take on today. Any words of wisdom or encouragement that you'd like to leave them, Asiya? And this is a way that you can connect with Asiya for those of you wanting to reach out for whether it's after school care. Well, we gave the Jack and Jill. Let me put that
Yeah.
one back up as well. This is the
I did
website for Jack and Jill.
I did just want to mention, if you want to learn a little bit more or hear a little bit more about marketing and advertising, I will be speaking on July 17th. Um, and I will be at 115 Red Banks Road in Greenville, and that's Suite D at 4 p.m. So I'll be speaking about marketing and advertising and my cash systems that has to do with community partners. So again, that would be 115 Red Banks Road, July 17th at 4 p.m. Suite D.
All right, let me put her email address up again. For those of you, if that was too fast for you, you can come back and catch it on the replay, or you can email her and she'll give you the information to the event that she'll be speaking at on July the 17th. She's going to be teaching her cash system and talking about community partnerships and things of that nature and how she can serve you in that respect. And that is our take on today, guys. I am Tanya Wilson Cherry. I am a master life and business coach. And it's been my pleasure, my absolute pleasure, to have you here. Asiya, thank you so much for your time and your transparency and, just allowing me to share you with my audience and your greatness.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I always love talking to you.
Same here. We'll talk again.
All right. Have a good night.
You guys have a good one. Peace.